Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Midday News, coming to you live from the nation's capital. I am Mukhtar Kasim. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. We begin from the nation's capital, where Vice President Kashim Shettima says the visit of his Colombian counterpart, Francia Marquez, marks the beginning of a new era in relations between Nigeria and Colombia. Speaking at a gala dinner held at the presidential villa in honor of the Colombian vice president, Shettima said the visit is proof that both nations are set to enter a union that would foster deeper political cooperation and bolder economic ventures. The vice president said Marquez's visit to Nigeria is expected to deepen diplomatic and strategic relations between Nigeria and Colombia, as well as enhance collaboration in areas of mutual interest, including governance, trade, agriculture, energy, education, security, among others. Meanwhile, the federal government has dismissed claims of lopsided development under President Bola Tinubu. The administration has been guided by fairness, justice, and equity in the distribution of projects, appointments, and opportunities across Nigeria's 6 geopolitical zones. Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, in a statement, said contrary to insinuations and misinformation, the administration had shown uncommon commitment to inclusivity and balanced national development since assuming office. Idris said the government's flagship infrastructure projects reflect an even spread. And now moving to legislative matters, where the House of Representatives has denied an alleged plot by the Speaker, Abbas Tajuddin, over delays in constituency projects funding, describing the claims as misleading and based on conversations that are taken out of context. A statement by its spokesman, Akin Rotimi Jr., says the House has faulted a media report which suggested that discontent over unpaid constituency projects was threatening to trigger a showdown against the Speaker. Rotimi noted that the report elevates isolated remarks and informal conversations from House WhatsApp group as if they represent the official position of any House caucus or the House itself. The federal government says it has completed a comprehensive review of school curricula for basic, senior secondary, and technical education aimed at making Nigerian learners future-ready. The Minister of Education disclosed this in a statement signed by its Director of Press and Public Relations, Boriowola Folashade. Said the Minister of State for Education, Professor Suwaiba Ahmed, announced the curriculum on behalf of the Minister of Education, Dr. Maruf Alausa, while speaking in Abuja. Ahmed noted that the review was carried out in collaboration with key education stakeholders, including the Nigerian Educational Research and Development Council, the Universal Basic Education Commission, the National Senior Secondary Education Commission, and the National Board for Technical Education. The federal government has signed 1-year performance contracts with all agencies under the Ministry of Interior, which include the agencies are the Nigerian Immigration Service, the Nigerian Correctional Service, the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, the Federal Fire Service, and the National Identity Management Commission. The Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, who supervised the signing of the performance contracts after a 3-day retreat in Suleja, Niger State, said that ongoing reforms in all agencies must be seen to their logical conclusion with 100% grades. Tunji-Ojo emphasized the need for capacity building for personnel of the paramilitary services, saying the capacity building would bring the best out of them and align them with the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu. In another development, the federal government says the full year 2024 budget performance report will be published by the end of September 2025, saying it will be done alongside consolidated reports for the first and second quarters of 2025. The Budget Office of the Federation, in a statement issued in Abuja by Director General Tanimu Yakubu, explained that the delay in releasing the budget implementation report was linked to 2 key factors of verification and reconciliation processes and the transition to an extended fiscal framework. The Budget Office said the verification and reconciliation exercise took longer than anticipated owing to the scope and nationwide spread of appropriated projects. And the Suicide Prevention and Advocacy Working Group has called on the federal government to prioritize suicide prevention, warning that Nigeria records about 16,000 suicide deaths annually based on the World Health Organization estimates. The appeal was made in Abuja during a courtesy visit to Senator Asuko Ekpeyong, who reaffirmed his commitment to pushing a suicide prevention bill currently before the Senate. Ekpeyong, who sponsored the bill, said it seeks to decriminalize attempted suicide and provide a framework for prevention, service delivery, helplines, and capacity building for mental health professionals. The bill passed first reading in February. And now moving to security, where the Chief of Army Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, says the Nigerian Air Force is expanding global defense partnership to enhance operational efficiency and modernize its fleet. In a statement in Abuja by the Director, Force Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Ehidem Ejodame, Abubakar stated this during a week-long working visit to the People's Republic of China, highlighting one of the main reasons of the visit was the meeting with the Chinese National Aero Technology Import and Export Corporation in Beijing on August 25. The Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, has charged all ships operating within Nigerian waters to ensure strict compliance and provisions of the International Convention for the Prevention of Pollution from Ships, Annex 6. The Director General of the agency, Dr. Dayo Muberiola, reaffirmed the agency's commitment to safeguarding Nigeria's maritime environment. He stressed that full compliance with prevention of pollution from ships, Annex 6, is non-negotiable for all vessels as Nigeria continues to align its maritime operations with global best practices in safety, security, and environmental protection. Prevention of pollution from ships, Annex 6, which Nigeria has domesticated under the Merchant Shipping Act 2007, specifically addresses the prevention of air pollution from ships. You're watching the live broadcast of the Midday News. When the Midday News returns, Super Eagles open camp as Rwanda arrives Tuesday. Details coming shortly, plus business and foreign stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. You're welcome back from that break, and if you're just tuning in, this is the Midday News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. And now to business story. We're baffled by incessant collapse of the national grid. The federal government has issued an order mandating all electricity generating companies connected to the grid to implement free governor control across their generating units, warning that non-compliance would attract heavy penalties, including disconnection from the grid. The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission says the order will take effect on September 1st, 2025. In power generation, a governor is a control system that regulates the speed or output of a turbine or generator. Still talking business, the federal government says many federal workers are unable to access its housing loan scheme because they have mortgaged their salaries through multiple loans from commercial lending agencies. The Executive Secretary of the Federal Government Staff Housing Loan Board, Hajia Ahmed, disclosed this at the Permanent Secretary's Quarterly Forum with union leaders organized by the Service Welfare Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation recently. Ahmed explained that the heavy loan deductions from worker salaries make them ineligible for housing loans. In another development, the federal government and the Nigerian Labour Congress have resolved a dispute over workers' pension funds following a meeting with the National Pension Commission. The meeting, led by the National Pension Commission Director General Omolola Oluwaroron, marked her first official interaction with the Labour Congress since assuming office in July 2024. The union added the engagement followed weeks of escalating pressure from the country's biggest labour organizations. The Pension Regulatory Authority rejected the claims of missing funds and assured that workers' pensions were safe and secure. And now to news making rounds on the foreign scene. At least 800 people have been killed and 2,500 injured after an earthquake struck eastern Afghanistan. The United States Geological Survey says a magnitude 6 earthquake struck just before midnight local time in eastern Afghanistan and near the border with Pakistan. Homes made of mud and wood collapsed as helicopters were sent in to evacuate the injured. Meanwhile, aftershocks reports were felt in neighboring Pakistan and as far away as India. Now moving to the Middle East, where Yemen's Houthi rebels say they have fired a missile at a tanker in the Red Sea days after their prime minister was killed in an Israeli attack. The Iran-backed rebels, who sank 2 tankers in July, said they targeted the Liberian-flagged Scarlet Ray, claiming a direct hit. According to maritime security company, the United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operation said the attack missed its target. And I'm moving back to Europe, where Russian President Vladimir Putin has blamed the West for igniting the war in Ukraine, insisting Moscow's assault was provoked by years of Western provocations. Speaking at the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit in the Chinese city of Tianjin, Putin accused the North Atlantic Treaty Organization of destabilizing the region and dismissed the claim that Russia triggered the war. Russia responded to the revolution by annexing Crimea and backing separatists in eastern Ukraine, leading to a conflict that has left tens of thousands dead and devastated large parts of the country. And now talking sports, the Super Eagles of Nigeria camp will open on Monday today in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State capital for the 2026 World Cup qualifying matches against Rwanda and South Africa, just as the Rwandans are built to arrive in Nigeria on Tuesday ahead of Saturday's clash. Nigeria will face Rwanda in a must-win clash on Saturday before traveling to battle Bafana in another crucial clash 3 days later. Now, after 6 matches, the Super Eagles are 4th in their qualifying Group C with 7 points, 6 points behind South Africa, who lead the group with 13 points. Away from football to golf, where organizers of the annual Nigeria Cup Golf Tournament have confirmed that the 2025 edition of the competition will tee off on Saturday, September 20 at the Ikoyi Club, 1938 in Lagos State. The event, which is put together by the Ikoyi Golf Community Nigeria Association, is aimed at commemorating Nigeria's independence anniversary, as well as providing competition for elite players, networking opportunities, and youth development initiatives. Chairman of the organizing committee, Wale Onalu Okpa, stated that the Nigeria Cup is more than a tournament. It is a national celebration of unity, excellence, and sportsmanship. Returning to football, where Nottingham Forest have terminated the contract of forward Emmanuel Dennis as part of their summer clearout. The Nigerian international, who is 27, is not in Nuno Espirito Santos' plan, although the manager also faces an uncertain future. Dennis did not play in any of their pre-season games and has been left out of their Premier League games so far this season. And that's it on the Global TV Midday News. Here's a quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV, channel 365, and Star Times, channel 276. Kindly follow us across all our social media platforms now showing on your screen using @Global Television NG. I am Mukhtar Kasim, saying a very big thank you for watching. Good afternoon.